John Monson, giving the speech, Eliminate Waste, Use Your Brain.
I'm sure everyone here works hard, but you may not feel that you're as productive as you would like to be. Sometimes work can feel like you're running on a treadmill and you can't get comfortable because as soon as you adjust, somebody cranks up the speed a little bit or dumps more work on your existing workload. This is sad because the constant struggle to keep up, it robs us of the opportunity to use the most powerful tool at our disposal. And no, it's not your iPhone, but it's your brain. The fun stuff, right? Being creative, solving problems, really working to satisfy your customers. Well, what if I told you that for no cost, you could get the same amount of work done, but free up 25% additional capacity to use your brain? Lean, you should all have a handout, is a concept that focuses on removing 7 wastes from your daily activities. It's a very popular concept in manufacturing, highly publicized by companies like Toyota. But after getting to know this group, most of you don't work in manufacturing. You work in offices or in the field in some cases. You do transactional or services type work. So let's examine these 7 wastes of lean in an office and learn how to identify and eliminate waste so that you can jump off the treadmill and spend more time using your brain. Waste number 1 is motion. In an office, most of the motion that occurs is mental motion, usually in the form of searching for information in your computer or your system. On average, we spend 1 hour per day finding information. For most of you, that'll amount to 1 year of your life. Do yourself a favor, just simple Google search, look for tips to organize your computer. You will find right at the top simple tips that when applied will greatly increase the speed at which you can find information. Waste number 2 is inventory. Inventory are things you've started but you haven't completed. Now most of us feel the impulse that we need to be busy every single minute, right? You feel that way? Now is this productive? Not necessarily. What often occurs with many of us is we reach that tipping point where we spend more time managing work than actually getting work done. What I recommend is that each of you need to find that bucket. Find that bucket where you can be successful. Only fill that bucket. Learn how to say no, learn how to prioritize what goes in that bucket, and you will be more successful. Waste number 3 is waiting. What do many of us do when we're waiting, other than hit the coffee machine? We start new projects, and phones too, but we start new projects. Now, is this a good thing? Not necessarily so. What should we do when we're waiting? Use our brains, right? This is our opportunity to think. Maybe reorganize our computers, but don't resist the impulse to just start new projects. Waste number 4 is defects. Now, defects are something that is performed wrong or incorrectly that requires rework. The number 1 root cause for defects is that we forget something. In Lean, checklists or creating standard processes, or what we call standard work, are a common way to reduce and eliminate defects. I want to recommend a book. It's called Checklist Manifesto. I know it sounds like a thrilling read, but this will outline approaches to apply Lean to create standard, what we call standard work to your processes that will eliminate or reduce defects. Waste number 5, overproduction. This is producing too much of something just in case. In an office, we tend to overproduce knowledge. And oftentimes, knowledge can become obsolete. Now, how many of you either create or receive reports that nobody ever looks at? Familiar, right? How about, how many signatures does it take to get something approved? Or double entering data. Right? These are all examples of overproduction. Waste number 6 is transportation. Again, in an office, we don't typically move physical goods. We move information. And the number one method at which we move information, anyone want to guess? Email. You got it, email. And what tends to happen with email is many of us strive for efficiency at the expense of being effective. For example, we send emails that are so short that the receiver perceives us as being short. This causes an email ping pong. Maybe you're familiar with that. Or Jeffrey, I know one of your favorites is the really long email where you're not sure what the sender is really asking. Or my personal pet peeve is the reply all button. And our final waste, number 7, is overprocessing. Overprocessing is handling something more than what our customer wants or what they're willing to pay for. The most common example I see of overprocessing in an office is multitasking. Now, the research has shown that multitasking is really a myth. The brain's not capable of focusing on more than one thing at a time. Instead what we're really doing is we're switch tasking is the word for it. By not multitasking and by focusing on one thing at a time, not only will the quality of your work improve, but you will get more done at the same time. So there you have it, the 7 wastes of lean. All of it 100% free. I hope that you become proficient with these concepts and learn how to see waste in your day-to-day activities. And when you see it, you take action and you eliminate it. By doing so, you will waste less time and spend more time using your brain.